Howdy, folks. I'm Brian.
I'm Zombamber.
Amber is a zombie today. And here's some Reddit. Alright, our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for making my daughter share her presents with my stepdaughter? I'm a 40-year-old female, and I was a single mother to my daughter, Amy, a 15-year-old female. I came out 3 years ago and married my wife, Jenna, a 42-year-old female, last year. She has a daughter, Nora, a 13-year-old female. We all live together as I have full custody of my daughter. It was kind of hard for her to adjust to having a second mom, but they all get along well. The girls have their birthdays very close, only 2 days apart, so we decided to have a joint birthday party for both of them. Since Nora has a hard time making new friends, they moved in with us and she's very shy. Most of my family lives out of the country, so the gifts were sent a week early. It was a huge bag with at least 20 gifts. The party was nice, and we opened the bag at night once everyone left. Well, Jenna handed out the presents as she took them out. After 12 gifts in a row for just Amy, I checked the bag and froze to see that there was only one gift for Nora, from my parents. She pretended that it wasn't a big deal, but as she opened the presents, I saw her eyes drop. It was a $15 tumbler from Walmart. Not to sound ungrateful, but Amy's gifts were much more expensive. Lots of gift cards, over $100, a new phone, a limited edition Funko, designer clothes, and lots of cards wishing her a happy birthday. Needless to say, I blew up in the family chat, calling out my parents, siblings, and extended family who sent gifts for not considering Nora, and my parents for the cheap gift. Not one took me seriously, since it's not our duty to give gifts to someone else's kid, and Amy deserved them since I didn't even throw her own birthday party, emphasizing that Jenna and Nora are my problem, not theirs. Nora was clearly hurt, since it's not my first time the family has left her out. At night, I asked Amy to share some of the gifts with her stepsister. Not all of them, just a couple of gift cards and maybe some of the new clothes. Amy refused. This surprised me, since she's never had a problem sharing, even though she and Nora are not BFFs. They usually get along. After asking her why, Amy started crying, saying that she never wanted a joint birthday party and that I forced her to share everything with Nora. They share a room for space, and I make sure that they're both invited to the same parties and sleepovers so that Nora won't be left out. If they don't invite both of them, then neither of them goes. Amy stated that she at least wanted her own gifts to be hers alone. I scolded her for being selfish with her stepsister, grounded her, and took a couple of the presents and gave them to Nora. If you won't give them voluntarily, I'll force you to. She turned them down because she didn't want problems with Amy, and it felt like pity. Since then, Amy has been cold to all of us. I just want my two girls to be closer with the joint party and have the same things. Am I the jerk? Clarification, Jenna and I bought gifts for the girls, their own tablets, as well as their friends. Nora also received gifts from their extended family, but they sent for Amy's as well. Alright, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
All the adults are kind of jerks here.
Yeah, well, so it sounds like Nora and Amy both have two sets of families, so it isn't necessarily unreasonable for you to set like some kind of way to make sure that they have an equal amount of gifts if the other families don't want to also send gifts. And it sounds like Nora's family also sent gifts to Amy, so it would have been nice if the other family had reciprocated and sent gifts to Nora, right? So I do think that that does create a little bit of inequality here. But I think that you needed to have a conversation a long time ago with your family about what was expected and try to set up an expectation so that gifts were sent in accordance to some cap or monetary value so that the girls both get, an equal birthday. But you should probably not be sharing birthdays between the two girls, right? Mm-hmm. Especially when you know your family has a history of excluding one of the girls, right? So you already know that they have a history, and it seems like you're just trying to push them together closer just to stop this. You can't necessarily give equal exact opportunities to both of your girls. What you're trying to do, I think, is not necessarily good. Like, Nora and Amy are two different people, and you're trying to treat them exactly like the same person with like, oh, if one has to go to a party, then they both have to go to the party. Like, oh, you can't hang out with your friends if your sister doesn't come along. That's going to breed a lot of resentment. And I understand that she's having a hard time making friends, but you can't force people to hang out with her, right? And maybe she doesn't even want to hang out every single time. Maybe she likes being a homebody. Who knows, right?
Yeah, well, and I was the kid who kind of like hung on to my sister's friends, and like, yeah, it was frustrating when my sister would do things with her friends and I wasn't invited. But because of that, it didn't end up breeding resentment. I was still like invited some of the time, you know, when there was space and whatnot. So you'll do more for them in the long run to not force them together.
Yeah. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like, and if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Happy Sunday morning. I had to remember what day of the week it is. I hope you have some kind of coffee or some kind of drink. Amber has some water here. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.